Good afternoon and welcome to Building HR Systems That Work for Women Spotlight. I'd like to introduce MSB to the conversation today. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about
Sure.
yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm Marie-Soleil Boucher, but MSB for people that know me. That's my cool name. And I'm a partner at HR Path. So all we do is HR, technology implementation, and I'm glad to be part of your series.
Yes, so glad that you're here and welcome. Question number one for you is, from your perspective, why has HR historically been a woman-led space? And if you agree with that, why do you think that is still true today?
I kind of agree with you because I work with HR leaders. It's my day to day. Like my customers are HR people, and I definitely see more women than men in general. And I really understand. I think it's from the perspective that people just don't understand what HR is in general. I think the perception, if you talk to like even like kids when they're selecting, where they're gonna go, study and things like that, they think HR is like all about like fluffy stuff, like benefits and like happiness at work. And yes, it's part of it, but the best HR people I've seen in my life are business people, like very like strategic people that understand the strategy of the business they're working for and see how the strategy of HR and how you engage your people and how you recruit your people is gonna match together. So if people knew that in advance, I think a lot of men would be more interested because it's a business, it's a strategic position. So it has nothing to do with fluff. It's very intended.
So when you think about what we do and what we've seen and how HR systems work together to support women, I'd love to take the conversation to how technology can support us and how it can sometimes drain us. Would love your take on that.
Humans are so predictable. Sometimes we all make the same mistakes when we deal with technology, I find. Like
Mhm.
we have these, and maybe that's sometimes how people are leading the conversation when they talk about technology. Like it's almost like they have this dream, they have this perfect world where they think this should go and how we should implement technology. But technology can only be good as how the human being will use the technology. And sometimes you need to assess where you are, where your people are to understand what's the next step for our people to enable them with better tools, better technology. So assess where you are, map where you are, and understand how strategically you can bring your people to the next step. And a lot of times technology don't work because you didn't do that. And the step was too high, the transformation was too big, and then it's just not the human being. There's so much change they can absorb at a time. You have to progressively bring
Yeah.
your people there. So it's change management, right? It's always change management. It goes back to that and trying to do too much at the time. We're dealing with people. Yeah.
What about the technology when the change management strategy is a good one and the cadence and the rhythm and the tiers are locked in? When all of that is deploying smoothly, how do these systems support us at work?
Can you expand a little bit on that
Absolutely.
question? Yeah.
So I envision, right, if I'm a frontline worker and I'm in healthcare,
Yeah.
and I'm in charge of a unit,
Mm-hmm.
I think about the importance of accurate time and attendance solutions. I think about the importance of the work that Zadons does in enabling HRIS solutions to be more robust. But to me, it feels like those systems are created for me because I have to operationalize so much as a unit leader. Being able to have a system that helps me automate, helps me schedule, will allow me to do what I do best, which is take care of my staff for
Oh
women.
my God, that's such a game changer.
Mhm.
And selecting the right technology is a hard one, right? Because the market is saturated, like with so many solutions. So it's really hard for someone like if you take the example of a hospital and like their staff, how do they provide the right solution? How do you find the right solution? How do you pick the ones that you want to pick? And yes, and like I think the more the technology, vendor that you're selecting understands your industry, the better. So it's about selecting the right partner to implement. And HR Path is really good at this. And
Yes, you
and the
guys
right
are.
gender and the right solutions that understands that, talk your language. If they don't talk your language, there's because probably they don't understand what you do, and they don't produce like, and they don't come up with solutions that will really serve your business. So but
Absolutely.
it's a blessing when you do, because it's such an enabler. And like you said, like the nurse that don't have to worry about all this, the logistics of her job, and be like there for her patient, there for the people. I mean, it's such a game changer. Like
Yeah.
you feel like you're at the right place at the right moment. You're on your
Yes.
X. You're doing the
Yes.
right thing. You're
Yes.
not spending time on just like, like
Yes.
paperwork and everything. So
Yes. Yes.
so it's really putting the when you do that, well, everybody wins. And then you get the return on investment.
Thinking about, if I have the right solution, there are things that won't be stressing me out anymore because things are just automated, right? They just kind of just go on their own, right? And that's the
Yeah.
purpose of technology. That's what I thought. Which brings me to my last question. When you think about the one piece of technology that you use that generally makes your life easier, and it doesn't have to be HR technology, it doesn't have to be work related.
Yeah. I think it's not a special technology. It's more a function, like it's a functional thing in a lot of technology that we see now with AI, is when you can have voice, conversation with AI. When you can talk and you can record and you can can have a conversation. My best ideas are when I'm able to find a solution to a problem, is usually when I'm not in front of my screen. It's usually when I take a walk, like I walk, and then boom, I have this
Think, yeah,
idea. And I'm like, oh, this is it. I find a solution.
yeah.
It's because our brain is so packed with stuff. So if you can have the voice technology and you can record everything you do, when I have my ideas, I just like pick up my phone and I have an app to record all my notes.
Mhm.
And I talk to my phone and I'm like, oh, and then I came up with all my genius, like my
Yes.
genius that's coming out of me. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, this is so good. I cannot, and I don't want to forget it.
Right.
Because if I forget, I'm gonna be so mad. So nowadays, I record everything with my phone when I have my ideas, and even emails. Like sometimes, like I grab it and I just record everything, and then that functionality changed my life. I'm so much more efficient.
I
I
love
don't
that.
forget things anymore.
Yeah.
And AI is helping me sometimes to even refine my ideas, like, and just like go beyond what I was thinking, and just on top of,
Yes.
like give me the angle that I forgot about this idea. Is there like anything else I should
Yeah.
think about? Have a conversation with AI
Yeah.
to enhance what I think
Yeah.
is like, it's so much time saving on top of it, because you don't have to write everything.
Right.
Like
Yep.
it,
Completely.
it just sometimes I forget what starting to type, and I forget, like when you talk, it's more like fluid.
It's fluid. It's
So
fluid.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So
love
to
that.
me,
And
game changer.
as we wrap up, what do you want to leave our listeners with? Your final thoughts.
At the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to enable more people to be successful, because the more people are happy around you, the more you are. I really think that that's the goal. And if technology, and as women, if we can help each other, just like sharing these tips when we find something, when we find the right tool, when like you have a good experience, just share it with your friends and be visible. What I'm doing today, just accepting an invitation like that, just to share some information, and that's what I do with Women in Tech. I participate to a lot of panels, because I realized, like, sometimes you think your ideas are like, meh, like it's
Yeah.
just, I do this. But then you realize, like, people come to you and like, oh my God, I did what you did. And it wores. And this changed,
It
like I'm
feels
so
so
much more
good.
productive. Yeah. And it feels
Yes.
so good because I can
Yes.
help people. And just everybody does that. I mean, we're
We
all
all
winning.
win. Thank you.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
joining us.